Hello friends, data engineering is one of the very demanding field in today's job market, especially when the large number of data is growing from across different source systems. Either it is mobile, website, any third-party systems and so on and so forth. So it is essential for each of us to maintain that data and get some insight out of it, isn't it? So therefore data engineering come into pictures. So today let us talk about the different areas of data engineering and understand how each of the technologies can help uh, in each area of the data engineering, so that you will be in a better positions to upskill yourselves in the field of data engineering and get the desired jobs, right? So let us continue here. So first of all, data engineering is divided into four main areas. One is data collections, second one is data storage and management, and third one is data processing, and fourth one is data governance and security. So data collection is very important. Essentially, there are a lot of structured and unstructured data, as I said earlier, into different source systems, which can be a social media platform, which can be any of the legacy systems, or which can be in the any operational systems that has been going on for a long time. So if you want to gather the insights out of this data, it is very essential to collect those data through the tools and technologies and bring into a centralized place, right? So first of all, you need a process or tools and technology to collect that data. That is called data collection process. Second, once data is collected, it should be stored in a such a way that is scalable, secure, and manageable in a centralized environment by across different people in the organizations, isn't it? So therefore, data, once you collected the data, it should be stored into data storage in such a way that it can be consumed by different stakeholders within the organizations. And third one is data processings. Most of the data you will get is very unstructured data. So your job as a data engineering guy to extract those data, transform it, and load it, which is nothing but an ETL process, part of data processing. So three areas: one is data collections, second one is data storage, which essentially take care of storing the data, and third one is ETL, which is essentially data processing. ETL is nothing but extract, transformation, and load. And last but not least is the data governance and security. Once data is available in your storage layer, you need to make sure that data is quality enough, right? You need to make sure that data is secure enough, and so on and so forth. So data governance and data quality or data security is another key important in overall data engineering aspects. So four areas: one is data collections, second one is data storage, and third one is ETL process, which is data processing, and fourth one is data governance and security. Now let us talk in each of area what are the tools and technology used in today's job market, right? So there are huge requirement in data collection part as well, right? So if you know the Python, if you know the Java and Scala, if you know the basic of Spark framework, you are good to go for data integration point of view. Of course, there are many legacy tools which is dedicated for data integrations. If you know it well and good, but basically using the Python programming, Java programmings to consume those API data from different source systems. And if you know some of the big data framework like Spark or Hadoop is little late, outdated now. So if you know the Spark framework and Spark SQL, or SSIS, you are good to integrate those data from different source systems, right? So first of all, these are the basic tools, which is called Databricks, Spark environment, Python or Java or Scala, or SSIS, Microsoft SSIS packages. If you can know, you are probably start into data integration space. Now, once you collected the data through the tools and technology that I have just mentioned, then come into data storage. Data storage is nothing but various scalable, secure store systems, either in a relational format or it is unrelational format, which is called file system, right? So if you want to store the data for a long time and you want to make sure that everybody should access the data for their benefit, you need to make sure that you are able to store in the format that is expected by the end user. So probably RDMS format is the very easy and accessible format. You have to convert the data which is you collected from different source system and put into a relational format. Or if it is a huge amount of data, it can be used for historical machine learning kind of use cases for the long time. You can store into a data lake kind of storage systems, which is a file systems, right? So therefore that you must know the Azure Data Lake in case of Azure, or Azure Blob, or in case of AWS use their tools and technology which is uses AWS S3 or AWS Redshift. These are the modern technology in the cloud framework that has been widely used for data storage today. Of course, there are many more non-SQL database, but for you to basically start, these are the few database which you should know, including the MySQL, which is very popular one for a small project, but for larger project, of course, you should know SQL servers and many other AWS Redshift, which is for enterprise data warehouse. Now many more thing has come up into the market, but start with some of the basic RDMS and SQL, RDMS systems like MySQLs and Azure technologies. Probably you are good to go for in data storage as well. Now data ETL part, which is very crucial, and some of the overlapping things happen here. Integration technology that I have mentioned earlier, those also used in ETL technology. Python is widely used, SQL is widely used in for extraction process, SSIS is widely been used. But ETL process is little complex because you need to make sure that you are able to map the source system data into the target system, which is essentially a data warehouse. And from data warehouse, business reporting will consume the data and give the insights. So very essential that you understand that ETL process very well. Different layers of movement of data from storage layer to lending, from lending layer to storage layer, from lending layer to intermediate layer, from intermediate layer to refinement layer. So when the data comes first at the outset, it will be lending layer as it is data. From lending layer, you will just make some transformation and create a unified layer, which is called unification layer, right? And from unification layer, you further refine the data and put specific data, which is used for reporting purpose, that is called refinement layer, right? So these three processes can be taken care by ETL using SQL or SSIS or Python or a Fabric kind of environment, right? So these 3-4 areas, of course, now I have to cover it that data governance and security. Collibra is one of the very popular tool in data governance sites, but now Azure Preview, Azure policies, Azure monitorings, right? Azure security is some of the very key component which is widely being used for data governance and security. In case of AWS, again, AWS Glue, AWS IAM roles and policies, which has been widely used to make sure that right user get the right access and right right control in the overall data governance framework that you maintain. So all in all, data engineering is very important aspects. So you should learn about the data collections, you should learn about the data storage, you should learn about the ETL, and you should learn about the data governance and security. If you have any further questions, you can ping me and we can collaborate each other. Till then, keep learning, keep growing. Please do not forget to subscribe my channel and motivate me to create more videos similar to that. Thank you so much.